Might be the toughest ticket in all of Bowling Green, Kentucky. Today, this week, this month, it's a sellout tonight. And it's not your typical Wednesday non-conference affair when a top 10 team from the SEC comes calling. Western Kentucky and Alabama, a game with a lot of postseason implications. And it will be raucous here today at the Western Kentucky Softball Complex. Hi, everybody, alongside Brett Kramer. I am Will Haskett. So glad that you could be with us. I don't know how we got this assignment, Brett, but it is going to be one heck of an entertaining battle here tonight. Again, Wednesday. It's normally kind of a different vibe. You're out of series, you're out of conference, you're working in some new players. Not for both of these teams, especially Alabama, coming off a rare SEC series loss this past weekend against Texas A&M. And Brett, they don't play this weekend either. They have it off. So this is a much different feel to a Wednesday out-of-conference game.
Absolutely, and you're right. It's not your typical Wednesday evening game. This is a huge matchup. Whenever Alabama travels anywhere, the crowd is going to follow them. But we talked to Coach Murphy earlier today, and it seems like this Alabama team has something to prove, especially coming off of a rough weekend in the SEC.
Yeah, he wants to see something out of his team before they take a little bit of time off before getting back in SEC play next week. But their opponent is chomping at the bit for a high-quality win because Western Kentucky has a resume, Brett, that is right there on the verge of at-large consideration for the NCAA postseason. They could take care of business in the Conference USA tournament coming up in a couple of weeks, but they would love a win tonight because it would really pad the resume.
Absolutely. With number 43 RPI in the nation, that is a resume in itself going to the NCAA committee. They have 4 losses right now to Power 5 teams. However, those have been close games, 1-2-run stakes. So really looking forward to see what they do against Alabama tonight. It starts in the circle, but this is a huge opportunity for them to really put their stake in the ground as an NCAA competitive team.
All 300 seats filled, so they're in the parking deck out in left just to be able to get a spot and a seat and a view of this one tonight. They will face the Crimson Tide, again, coming off of that loss in the series against Texas A&M. Ashley Prange has been so good at the top of the lineup, the transfer from Ohio State, and it's really 2 transfers that have been driving this offense. Shipman in the 3-hole. This is a team that didn't have its best bats this past week, and they're trying to make sure that this lineup flows with only 1 series left in the SEC coming up next week.
I'm just excited for this matchup to see these hitters in action, and these teams have seen the pitchers in the SEC routinely, so it's always different when you see somebody else in the circle because it takes a bit to get used to that pitching style, and I think it's going to be a great matchup. And
they'll be facing Shelby Nunn, the reigning Conference USA Pitcher of the Week. You see her numbers through the course of the season. She's going to pitch to contact. It's going to be important to see what the strategy is, rely on the defense behind her coming up in this one, but Nunn is the workhorse of this staff. In her 5th year in the program, a local product from here in Bowling Green, Kentucky, and what a night this could be for her as this packed house sees the first pitch just low into the outside. James Neighbors calling the balls and strikes behind the plate. James Cooper up the first baseline. Joseph Salazar is down the third baseline as this non-conference showdown that, look, I'm not going to go out on a limb here and Brett say it has a postseason feel to it, but there's been an energy building here this week and especially today, and a perfect night to contest this game.
It absolutely does have a postseason feeling. And Western Kentucky is so strong at home. They're 13-1 on the year. They're not used to losing on their home turf, and you betcha they're going to try to knock this Alabama team out today and use that home advantage.
Prange, good contact to center, but playable, and Page has it in the glove for out number 1. Not a lot of pop in the bats for Alabama. They were 10th in the SEC, or I should say they are 10th in the SEC in slugging percentage. That means that this defense is going to be working tonight. Davis, Hage, and Foote across the outfield with a very upperclassman-led team. Only the freshman Drennan behind the plate in the field for a very experienced defensive lineup behind Shelby Nunn. Gets the low one against Jenna Lord, the freshman for Alabama, who's been thrust into the lineup and never played in the outfield and has to play there for Patrick Murphy because he just couldn't ignore the bat. Had to get the bat on the field and in the lineup somehow.
And he mentioned us. If somebody is producing at the plate, you need to find ways to get them in the lineup, and it's kudos for her to put in the work in the outfield, a position, as you mentioned, never played before. And that's hard to do in college softball, completely transition, but it seems like her athleticism is really helping her find success. But really, it's the bat that's keeping her in the game.
Freshman behind 0-2. And just missing the corner for Nunn. Again, not a big strikeout pitcher. 131 in the 3rd innings of work and less than 100 Ks in that time. She needs the bottom of the zone to be her friend in this one tonight.
Absolutely. And the key is she's a very efficient pitcher. Doesn't throw a lot of pitches, will throw, and really she's looking for contact.
Muscled off the inside of the bat, but a diving play by Foot out in right. 2 fly ball outs, and your first highlight from that defense behind Nunn for the Hilltoppers.
This ball stays a little too good down the middle of the plate, but what a great diving catch out of right field. That's how you set the tone from a defensive standpoint, because they expect hitters to put the ball out there on Nunn, so you got to rely on a strong defensive presence to get the job done.
Yeah, you need 21 outs in a game, and they expect the majority of those to come from good, solid, error-free softball behind them as that one comes upstairs and gets in on the hands of Allie Shipman. You mentioned the 2 transfers. Shipman came in from Tennessee last year and has only improved in terms of her numbers, co-leading this team in home runs. And even up at 1-1. Hit hard, but foul.
And I do like what Nunn is doing here, getting ahead in the count, mixing up inside, outside, high with the low ball as well. You want to keep these Alabama hitters guessing because this is a hitter's game right now. The rules are set up for the hitters, the exposure to the pitchers and the technology. It's really meant for the hitters to succeed. So if you want to be a good pitcher, you have to keep them guessing, and you cannot have the same sequences every single at-bat.
The 1-2. Couldn't get her to chase. Shipman didn't register a hit her last 3 times out. Again, the bat's really cold against Texas A&M this past weekend. And that's why this lineup, especially tonight, a little extra emphasis on seeing some good play, as that one's going to get out of play before getting a weekend off and then a final series coming up with Missouri, who's playing really well of late, next weekend to close out the SEC regular season. Couldn't get her to chase. The count works full. 48 hits this year for Shipman, leading the way for Alabama. And now what do you expect to see from Nunn, 3-2?
I'm thinking something low and on the outside. She's clearly not chasing that inside high pitch. I wouldn't be surprised if she goes low out and really tries to get a grounder to get out of this inning.
Rolled over, gloved at third. Sanders up with it in time across the diamond. And a 1-2-3 start against a team that likes to get off to hot starts. Near perfection from Shelby Nunn, the defense behind, as it'll bring the Hilltoppers to the plate here in the first. Got good energy in the stands, great energy on the field, and a great defensive start to this one.
PTI, I need the PDF, COB, AKA EOD. What's the ETA?
ASAP.
PTI, I need the PDF, COB, AKA EOD. What's the ETA?
ASAP.
I love my new home, but it might be too Victorian.
Gosh, interesting hemline on this.
Oh, I've travelled all over, telling folks they could save by bundling home and car insurance.
I love my new home, but it might be too Victorian.
Gosh, interesting hemline on this.
We just had a moment.
Geico.
Oh, I want ice cream.
Seriously?
I'm gonna drive to get my ice cream.
No, you're not. Play with this.
No, I'm driving.
Really? Drinking and driving? How old are you?
I'm a big boy.
pitching and defense, the hallmark for Western Kentucky this season. Can they get the offense against Alabama here tonight? Hage leads things off. The great story, Taylor Davis bats second, and fresh off of a Conference USA Player of the Week, Taylor Sanders. 1, 2, and 3 in this order. Gonna have to do damage, and they will come to the plate in the bottom of the first against the normal Wednesday starter for Alabama. Jayla Torrance gets her 9th start of this season. You see, good numbers. Only pitched an inning and a third in relief this past weekend against Texas A&M, so the arm is fresh as well and is low against Briley Hage to lead things off here in the bottom of the first inning. The news for any Alabama fans or fans of softball watching is that even though this is a Wednesday game, but given the weekend schedule and given the sort of urgency to see some really good softball tonight, Montana Fouts is available tonight. We actually thought that there may be an inkling of her starting in this game. Instead, it is Torrance. But the ace of this staff is certainly available and on the minds of her coaching staff should they need her.
Absolutely. I'm just excited to see Torrance get ahead on these batters, set the tone, and Coach Murphy really talked about playing a clean game from start to finish and really having a clean defensive presence behind your pitcher.
First strike over against the junior center fielder. So Reed, the first out of the night on a beautiful fly to center, and there you see what Torrance can bring with the heat. She can top out at 70. Again, you've got actually this entire staff with a lot of power, and that was the question that, Brett, you and I had, is whether it was going to be Fouts or Torrance in the circle. You've got elite speed in terms of the power pitching arms in this staff that Western Kentucky doesn't see very often. As that one's ripped hard on a rope into right for a leadoff single, as that one came inside but a bit too high. Hage turns the hands on it, and there's one aboard here, first batter reaching.
And that's huge for Western Kentucky. Ball just hangs over a little bit too much over the plate, right on the inside. And she just puts a great bat on ball there, and this is what Western Kentucky needs. They need to get runners on. They need to get that confidence, because the more that you put pressure on this Alabama defense, the more success you're going to have.
And now Taylor Davis, the senior, looking to move Hage at a minimum over. It's a big laugh as she stumbled out of the box. She was trying to get out of the batter's box, almost fell over. Sometimes those are little things that will kind of break out of any tension that there might be in this one. You can see the great contact numbers for the left fielder. Executes a brilliant bunt in the middle of nobody. And it's 2 on to begin the bottom of the first for the Toppers.
We'll see Davis come around here, and what perfect placement, just gets by Torrance. And that shortstop's playing back. They're thinking that they need a cover 2 on a bunt. That couldn't have been executed any better. Now you have runners first and second, and this is just a great first couple at bats for Western Kentucky.
Davis actually leading Conference USA in sacrifice bunts this year. And they say that she was out of the box as they're sending her back. Let's take another look at if we can see where she was when she made contact with this ball. Watch the foot here. Yep, comes out of the box to make contact with that one. So that is a good call from this officiating crew. So back into the box goes Davis.
And that's a great call. That is extremely hard to see as an umpire.
She'll officially sacrifice herself over as the throw hesitated for a minute there by Prangy, but able to beat her across. So I mentioned leading Conference USA in sacrifices. It will officially be a sacrifice as she sends Hage over to second. There's a look at the defensive lineup. Prangy over there at third, again taking over a very important position in this defensive lineup for Alabama this year, and has stepped in beautifully. Low to Taylor Sanders. Hit .500 this past weekend, including 3 doubles, a home run, and knocked in 10 en route to a Conference USA Player of the Week award.
She is without a doubt feeling confident at the plate, and that's exactly what you need going against the number 6 team in the country.
Slugs it at 700. And could she be in line for a big hit in this one?
And that's what these games really dwindle down to, are timely hitting when runners are on the base pass. It's never going to be the big inning that kind of gets it done day in, day out. It's when you can get a hit at that perfect time where you can just get runs throughout the game.
She gets behind 1 and 2 here. Page, the runner at second, led off this bottom of the inning with a rope single to right. Sacrificed over, and now Taylor Sanders and her 44 RBIs this year, looking to add to that total and draw first blood here against Alabama. Rips that one hard into center. There will be no play, and it scoots past Woodard. Page will score standing up. It's a stand-up double for Sanders, and this place is going wild with the first run on the board.
Sold out crowd, you can hear them now. That's an incredible start for the Hilltoppers. You'll see the pitch come in just way too good over the plate, gets past the center fielder, and really takes advantage. Once again, timely hitting is what is going to give the Hilltoppers the win this game, and that's a great start.
I mentioned 10 knocked in this past weekend. Put another one on that, 7 RBIs in her last 3 games for Taylor Sanders. And now a little conversation with the both coaching staffs. Torrance having to settle into this game. She's given up some hard contact, and the only out earned was a given one by Western Kentucky, with Davis sacrificing Page into position.
And we talked to Coach Tudor, and she thought a big focus would be ignoring the A on the uniform. And it's pretty clear they've come out here swinging. They're not intimidated by the Alabama pedigree, and I think this is the best start that they could ask for at this time.
Sanders knocking in 1.1, 1.2 or so runs per game. It's 15th best in the country and leading Conference USA, and adding to that here in the first frame is Jordan Ridge with another runner in scoring position steps in. And Torrance goes off speed for strike 1. High strike given, 0-2.
Very high strike there on the inside corner. And I would say that's half the battle with first innings, is the pitchers are trying to figure out the strike zone, the hitters are trying to figure out the strike zone, and then from that first inning, you expect from there to really make adjustments going forward.
Torrance couldn't get her to chase, but that ball gets out of the glove of Shipman. And that was just enough of an opening for Sanders to scoot on down to third, and with just 1 out in this one, Ridge has got plenty of pop in the bat, can try and elevate something.
And that really changes the mindset for Ridge at the plate here. She knows she has to push it out to the outfield. There's no harm in a sac fly. That scores the run. That does it for your team.
And Shipman took a heavy shot there. And dazed after that one comes and catches her right in the mask.
And that hurts. Like, I realize catchers have gear on, they have all the equipment necessary, but that does not feel good. Firing back at your face is a jolt to your body. So yeah, if she's seeing stars, like, that happens routinely, and it's just never a great feeling behind the plate.
So obviously her short-term health the biggest concern, and she shakes off the cobwebs. And just hear the sound of this ball hitting the mask.
Oh, I'm cringing. I do not miss that feeling behind the plate one bit. Oh, that hurts. You never get used to that as a catcher.
And coming off the heels of where her mind was on just the inability to transition out of the glove, allowing the runner to get to third, the very next pitch right off the tower as that one floats over the outside corner, and Ridge looks at strike 3. Big second out.
And I love this mix-up from Torrance. She went inside, a little off speed, Now you mix it up with a pitch to the outside. Ridge is probably not expecting it at that moment of time. So once again, keeping these hitters guessing is the best route of success for these pitchers.
Good crack at it from Maddie Bolds, the senior first baseman. And her first trip to the plate here this evening. This is a bat in this Hilltopper lineup that Amy Tudor says they really need to be a dangerous lineup order. Comes in hitting 224, has knocked in 16, does have a little pop.
I like the mix of the off speed from Torrance there. I do think some of her other normal speed pitches, she could locate a little bit lower. That just gives you more chance for a grounder. Nice, easy play for the defense.
And getting to work from ahead against the 4 and 5 hitters in this Western Kentucky order. Trying to shake off a rocky start, leadoff single in this inning, and then Sanders continuing to swing that hot bat, stands at third after the RBI double, and a 1-2.
It looked like an off speed that just got a little away from her, almost probably held the grip a little bit too long. But now, I mean, full count, runner on third. Expect a good pitch to swing at.
Plenty of pitches in this first inning for Jayla Torrance, 23rd in the circle here in the first, and misses wide. Runners on the corners now, and a dangerous hitter coming up next for the Hilltoppers. Try to put a crooked number on the board here in the first inning.
Yep, it's a little just too far outside, really close. Does not look like it tagged to that corner of the plate at all. So great call from the umpire behind the plate.
So the big bat in this Western Kentucky order comes to the plate in senior Bailey Curry. Compact, efficient swing, a lot of pop. There you see those home run numbers. And with 2 on here and 2 out, she could take some chances here against Torrance. Boy, got full extension, but a little late on that one.
Yeah, a little inside out. I believe that was an inside pitch that came in, but she's looking to swing, and I love that out of hitters. Be aggressive with that first pitch. Pitchers are always looking to get ahead in the count, so it's more likely than not that first pitch could be one of the best ones that you get throughout your entire at-bat.
Torrance came with heat, but missed low and in. Curry trying to connect here in the bottom of the first to send shockwaves through the stadium. That's well struck out in the gap towards center, just to the top of the wall. Page is in, rounding third and scoring his Bolds. It's a 3-run first for the Hilltoppers.
She clocked that. I can't wait to see the replay here. She got all of that ball. I wasn't sure for a minute if it would be out. I'm sure the people in the parking garage are going crazy back there right now. What a start for Western Kentucky. Ball is just way too good over the middle of the plate. And against a power hitter like Curry, you cannot make that mistake. Oh, she is going to do exactly what she did. Slot in a double, and goodness, that's a huge hit for the Hilltoppers.
I mean, 2-3 feet away from being a 3-run home run. And look at the energy as she came into second. So 3 on the board, and that has brought Patrick Murphy out of the dugout. And maybe making a swap right now inside the circle. Lots of hard hit balls here in the bottom of the first inning, and Jayla Torrance may not survive the opening frame. Trying to move the lineups around, and that is indeed the case. So she exits, and we said who would be available tonight if called upon. Montana Fouts will get the ball just 2/3 of an inning into this one. So not only available, but called upon early is Alabama on the road, finding themselves down 3-0 here in the first and already going to their all-everything pitcher. We wondered if Montana Fouts would get a rare Wednesday start. She'll instead pitch in relief, but it comes in the first inning. Alabama trailing 3-0, and Jayla Torrance getting just 2 outs here in the first. So, Brett, they go to their ace as Fouts looking for the final out of this inning and then probably a good outing. And you see the incredible gaudy numbers, leading the SEC in strikeouts and the anchor of this staff that leads the entire conference in ERA. We wanted to see her. We didn't know if and when we would, and I think when it started with Torrance in the circle, I don't think we expected to see her here in the first inning, but here she is.
No, did not expect her to see her in the first inning. However, we're getting from Coach Murphy what the people wanted, to see one of the best pitchers in the nation come out in a 3-run deficit. She's used to starting games. However, they have a pitching staff, and what better than to go to your bullpen and be like, oh yeah, I have the best pitcher in the nation to kind of get us back in this game.
Not what Randy Drennan was expecting when she was standing in the on-deck circle just about 5 minutes ago. Instead, Bailey Curry rocks one off the top of the wall, and now the freshman has to stand in against Fouts. Check swing foul, 1-1. Curry's still out there at second, again delivering the 2 RBI knock that ran Torrance out of the ball game.
And what will be interesting is that there is a little bit of a speed difference between Torrance and Fouts, but they're both in that high 60s, low 70s. And it doesn't seem like speed is really hurting the Hilltoppers. They're hitting well against it. So I think once again, hitting those spots, maintaining unpredictable sequences. And really what I don't think Torrance did well was keep the ball keep the ball down in those key spot locations. So looking for Fouts to kind of settle in a little bit more to this strike zone.
Freshman, 1-2. Coach Amy Tudor just lauding all sorts of praise in her freshman catcher for her composure. No moment's going to get the best of her, but that pitch does. Up into the zone. And that ends a long first inning for Alabama, but a perfect start for Western Kentucky. The Hilltoppers could not have dreamed of a better first inning. 3 come across. Couple of big doubles to the wall in center, and the Hilltoppers have a 3-0 lead after 1.
Lucky for me, there's some great golf here in the Carolinas. Whether you golf or not, Geico could help you score some great savings on car insurance. Whoa! Oh, all in one.
Geico. See all the ways you could save.
So, people can get a free Samsung Galaxy S22 when they trade in a Galaxy. Any year, any condition.
Oh, I get it. So you can take your old phone that you've had for 12 years and loved every minute of and trade it in for something new that suits your life now?
That's right, yeah.
Then enjoy immediate success, even though you'll never forget your old phone, ever.
It's a great trade.
Life-changing.
Get a free Samsung Galaxy S22 with any Galaxy trade-in. Any year, any condition. Only from AT&T.
Check out this verba. Come on.
Now I'm here, now you're here. Can't go on 'cause I am right where I belong.
3-0, Western Kentucky leading. I've never seen any stress from Patrick Murphy, though. 24th year, has seen this program come from the very beginning all the way to this moment. Second place currently in the SEC, but fresh off another phenomenal season. And congratulations to Coach Murphy. He goes into the Alabama Sports Hall of Fame, the State Sports Hall of Fame, coming up in a week from this Saturday.
He's certainly one of the game changers when it comes to college softball. Just continued success at Alabama. That is not easy to do. That takes a great recruiting staff. That takes a great atmosphere at your program to be able to maintain that type of success over a long period of time.
Long rest for Shelby Nunn. Went 1-2-3 through the top half of this Alabama order, as the coach had no reservations of making a first inning pitching change. 4, 5, and 6 here in the second inning. Bailey Dowling, sophomore shortstop, is ahead 2-1.
But I think that shows how much respect Alabama has for Western Kentucky. Not only are they the number 43 RPI, but they're a competitor, at-large contingent for the NCAA tournament. So you don't make changes that quickly unless you're truly worried about your opponent kind of getting away from your team. So kudos for Western Kentucky, because not only is Alabama a big name coming into this, but they're also making a stamp on collegiate softball as well.
Certainly a lot of eyeballs on this game tonight. Chatting with Amy Tudor from Western Kentucky. Look, she knows. I mean, she's right there in the mix of it. She's getting the reports. Committee member, that she's aware that not only what this game could do for her program, but also aware of the fact that, look, the players are going to know. Players are reading. She's not going to ignore the realities of what something like this can mean tonight. You just go out and you play softball, and you hope the result sort of comes your way. She played for this program, now gets to lead this program. Big night around here. That one's in on the hands. Shallow center, but out from second is Ridge. There's one away.
And I love the fact that Coach Tudor is talking about this moment with her team. They're clearly aware that number 6 Alabama is coming to town. They have a sold-out crowd, and more than sold out. There's people literally in the parking garage here to watch this game, and you can't hide away or shy away from big moments. You have to prepare for them, but you also have to prepare your psyche for those big moments too. And sometimes preparation just starts with talking about the situation and realizing this is a big moment, but that's okay. We can still be successful.
Fouled away from Kaylee Tao, graduate senior, the first baseman. As you're taking a look at him, stacked up. There it is. I don't know if you had to pay more for the second floor or the 6th floor. It didn't really matter. You were going to just be standing around watching this game from the parking deck. And they advertised for it. They said, look, we're out of tickets, folks. If you want to come see this game. And credit to Alabama for scheduling it. We'll get into why. It's this young lady at the plate right now, Kaylee Tao from nearby Madisonville, Kentucky. This program always wants to go back home for its senior players. And while this game was on the schedule 2 years ago before the pandemic wiped everything out, they finally were able to make it work, and Tao gets to come back. They were at her house last night. The whole family was there with the team. Just a special experience. Did she go? She did. 1-2.
I hope Western Kentucky, I know they have their photographers out there, they're getting all the footage, because if you're a recruit coming into this, you see the field, you see the stands, you probably see the parking garage and are like, oh, there's a parking garage in left field. But now it's like, no, that parking garage is an extension of our stadium.
Rolled to second, gets the best of Ridge, and it's the first base runner of the night for Alabama as Tao whips that one too hot to handle at second. That will be an error on Ridge. Probably could have got the body in front of it. That's just a tough hop.
Yeah, that's a tough hop. it's hard sometimes to anticipate those. You never also know what's on the field that it hit. Did it hit a small rock? Did it hit a little like groove in the field that you didn't see? But that's why it's important to have a hard hit ball, is because anything can happen in those instances.
Below the knees against Megan Bloodworth, the freshman second baseman for Alabama. This is where the production in the Alabama order is going to need to get maybe a little tighter heading into SEC tournament play, and looking for a little more consistency out of this part of Coach Murphy's lineup, as Blood with a good eye goes ahead 2-0. Foul of third.
And Shelby Nunn just keeps the ball low, and I'm just very impressed with how she's hitting her spots right now. And if you hit the spots, that's when grounders happen, that's when pop-ups happen. It's hard to get a full barrel against a solid outside or inside pitch.
Floats one over, 2-2. So what is the 3-run bottom of the first do to Shelby Nunn, the game that's being called between her and Drennan behind the plate and the coaching staff? Because having that 3-run lead for this type of pitcher, what does that provide?
You would think it would let her breathe a little bit easier, knowing that the bats are working and her team is working for her.
Tried to flip in time to first, stretch over by Bolt, and they get the double play. There's the defense, pitch to it. 4-6-3 across the infield. An error given up by Ridge. She earns it right back. 2 great innings of defense from the Hilltoppers.
Oh, I've travelled all over, telling folks they could save by bundling home and car insurance. But here's the real secret: eye contact. We just had a moment.
Geico.
Oh, I want ice cream.
Seriously?
I'm gonna drive to get my ice cream.
No, you're not. Play with this.
No, I'm driving.
Really? Drinking and driving? How old are you?
I'm a big boy.
Hack your first shave with the Philips One Blade First Shave. Designed to protect your skin against nicks, cuts, and burns. Hack your first shave.
Bottom of the second, 8-9-1 due up for Western Kentucky, leading 3-0 over 6th-ranked Alabama. With Brett Kramer, I'm Will Haskett. And a loud environment got even louder over the last 20 minutes or so, forcing Montana Fouts into a somewhat rare relief appearance last time, back on the April 15th, through a third of an inning in a game against Mississippi State. Available tonight, but in a little bit earlier as the Heat flies right by Kennedy Foote, the right fielder, leading things off here after 7 came to the plate in the first inning. Jayla Torrance giving up 3 hits, 3 runs, and a sacrifice, and a walk.
And you're right, Fouts is not used to coming in. She's used to starting the game, setting the tone, and going from there. The tone has been set for her. Obviously, she has a lot of power and a lot of time to change what that looks like up against these Hilltopper batters. But I can't imagine too many games when she's come in 3-0, the first inning, and has to rally her team back from that deficit without being able to hit the ball.
In for a strike 1 and 2 against the sophomore.
I think a key with Fouts in this is getting ahead on batters and doing what she does best. She's an extremely talented pitcher, one of the best in the country. She throws extremely hard, but you can only throw that hard and have success if you're hitting your spots.
This is her spot there high. She was the pitcher of record in 2 of the 3 games this past weekend against Texas A&M. Got the start in Friday's loss. 6 innings, gave up 6 runs, 6 hits, only 4 of them earned. And then got the win, 6 hits, 2 runs, 1 of them earned in Sunday's win to get one out of the series. That one's check swing lifted towards short, and Dowling has it for out number 1. So Fouts, by the way, did strike out 19 in her 13 innings worth of work. And there you see, took the loss in that opener for a lopsided affair in 5 innings on Saturday. So they knew showing up to the ballpark on Sunday they were going to drop the series, which is kind of few and far between an SEC play this season and many seasons for Alabama. And you know, normally you'd be like, okay, we'll get back at it next weekend. Well, there is no series this weekend, which is why we talked at the top, Brett, about how sort of unique this Wednesday game is, and now it has very much the vibe of a postseason or conference game with a lot on the line as TJ Webster stands in against Fouts.
And sometimes it's really nice getting out of your conference because nobody knows you better than the hitters in your conference, the coaches in your conference. So it's nice to see a team that you haven't seen before. You've never faced them. They've never faced you. It opens up a little bit more lenience with your pitching to mix it up. But once again, this isn't the 3rd time that Western Kentucky has seen her this year. It's the 1st time, just like it would be in postseason, to really make that impression. And typically pitchers find a lot more success in that as well.
Just misses the outside corner. Misses the bat that time of Webster, who strikes out for a 16th time this season. 2nd K for Fouts in relief in this game, and quickly 2 away.
And that's what happens when you get ahead on these batters, is this ball is coming in on the outside of the plate. That's not a strike, but she has 2 strikes on her already. It's close enough. You're gonna get those swings. And if they do put bat on ball, it's probably a pop-up or not a great hit. So that's why it's such a key thing for these pitchers to get ahead in the count, because that puts pressure on the batter. And typically they'll swing at things that maybe they don't typically swing at.
James Neighbors saying that Hage went around on that check swing behind 0-1. Led off this game with a rocket to right, came around and scored 2 batters later on the Taylor Sanders RBI double. And is behind 0-2 as Fouts continues to climb the ladder in terms of pace right now on these pitches. Just kind of getting into that rhythm you mentioned. I mean, it's now really probably the first time she's going to feel like, oh, this is what it would feel like to get into a start. Facing the top of the order, throwing a number of pitches. I'm into a 20-25 minute rhythm and routine of throwing.
In a routine of with this umpire too. She knows better what he's calling for strike.
That makes it look easy right there. 3 strikeouts of 4 batters thus far for Montana Fouts. That's exactly what Alabama needed. Turn the lineup over, and now can the bats heat up?
I love my new home, but it might be too Victorian.
Gosh, interesting hemline on those pants.
At least Geico makes bundling my home and car insurance easy. I save so much.
Pardon me, Your Grace.
Oh, just call me Grace.
For bundling made easy, go to geico.com.
I want ice cream.
Seriously?
I'm gonna drive to get my ice cream.
No, you're not. Play with this.
No, I'm driving.
Really? Drinking and driving? How old are you?
I'm a big boy.
The BK $5 Your Way meal is here to make your choice easy and so tasty. Go straight to the Double Whopper Jr. with piping hot small fries, 4-piece crispy nuggets, and a refreshing small drink. Can you believe you get all this for only $5? The $5 Your Way meal, only at Burger King.
All those in the parking deck across the way in a great view of a great start. Western Kentucky leading it 3-0. As we head to the third, Shelby Nunn has faced the minimum to this point, allowing just one base runner. No hits, no walks. It was an error in the second, quickly erased by a double play. So 7, 8, 9 in the Crimson Tide order due up is KJ Haney, making just her second start of the season. Steps in for Alabama and looks at ball one.
I really think the parking garage is the MVP of this game so far. Like, what a way to get more eyeballs.
Hold on, the Hilltoppers scored 3 in the bottom of the first. I mean, we've had some big hits thus far.
We've had a lot of big hits, but I just think the noise and the energy that's coming from that parking garage, coming from the crowd, I feel like that fuels the Hilltoppers and had to play some kind of role in their 3-0 lead here early.
300 actual seats in the ballpark, a few more standing room to get into the actual gates. And then what you see there across the way. When we were preparing, there were actually people sitting on the ledge of the second floor of that. I feel as if there was some insurance-minded administrator that came out and said, that's not going to happen. Let's go ahead and put it back. We got an Alabama sign there, too. So, I mean, we're well represented across the way, both teams, as that's a 4-pitch walk to KJ Haney to begin this inning for Shelby Nunn, and that is not what you typically see at a Nunn.
Absolutely not. Just got a little too far out on that outside corner. Just was probably missing the edge of the plate by like a mere inch. But that's a great job by Haney. The key to any run in an inning is you have to get base runners on, and it doesn't matter if it's a walk or a hit.
Just the 19th walk issued by Shelby Nunn in 133 plus innings worth of work this season, to show you how rare it is that she gives free passes, and didn't get a single strike against Haney, who again, a 200 hitter with just 10 plate appearances so far this season. Dallas Goodnight will come in and run for Haney at first. That one ripped to second. Will not be a double play opportunity this time for Ridge because of Goodnight's quick reflexes off the bag. But there's one down on the ground ball from Jenna Johnson.
When we talked with Coach Murphy, he did say that bunting was something that their team was struggling with this year. So I do wonder if they went more with the hit and run type strategy on that one versus bunting, because they haven't had the most success. But essentially what she did there is just as good as a bunt, move the runner to second base, and now they have somebody in scoring position.
You're really kind to his words. I was going to give the actual quote he gave us. Said our bunting stinks.
I was a little nicer, wasn't I?
You were much nicer. I appreciated the coach speak. I am sure that in the locker room, on the bus, and on the plane, they have heard it from that coach before. So at least the hit and run in play there, and that one's rolled over. Again, it's Ridge fielding her position as Savannah Woodard is retired. So Goodnight's moved all the way to third, but now there's 2 outs for the top of the order as Alabama just tries to plate something to get on the board in this game.
And some listeners today that are watching might be like, oh, who cares about bunting? Like, it's softball. Let's hit the ball. Let's put the ball in play. Why do we have to play small ball? Well, small ball wins championships. And Coach Murphy knows that. It's the key to getting runners in scoring position. And if you can't bunt successfully, then the season really struggles.
Ashley Pert, second time up. She hit it hard to center her first time, but not deep enough. Flying out to begin this game. Now trying to find a gapper here to bring in Goodnight from third base.
And Prangy, another transfer to Alabama this year, who's really settled in, made a name for herself on the team. And it seemed, after talking to coach, a pretty seamless transition.
Inserted into the leadoff spot over the last couple of weeks. So you see Prangy and Shipman, what they've meant to this program. And you mentioned that seamless transition. It is not guaranteed that when you bring in a player from another program, it's going to always work out. But they have not only found roles, but even adapted to larger roles. To play leadoff in Coach Murphy's order, she really fits all of the things he wants from a leadoff hitter. She can do the contact stuff in that first at bat to begin the game, but now in this type of situation comes up in an RBI situation and certainly has the bat to be able to deliver, but she's down 0-2 here against Nunn. Again, lifts to center, should be playable. Ainge has it for a second time, and Nunn works around the leadoff walk to keep the goose egg on the board. 3 innings into this one.
I love my new home, but it might be too Victorian.
Gosh, interesting hemline on those. Pounds?
At least Geico makes bundling my home and car insurance easy. I save so much.
Pardon me, Your Grace.
Oh, just call me Grace.
For bundling made easy, go to geico.com.
I want ice cream.
Seriously?
I'm gonna drive to get my ice cream.
No, you're not. Play with this.
No, I'm driving.
Really? Drinking and driving? How old are you?
I'm a big boy.
The BK $5 Your Way meal is here to make your choice easy and so tasty. Go straight to the Double Whopper Junior with piping hot small fries, 4-piece crispy nuggets, and a refreshing small drink. Can you believe you get all this for only $5? The $5 Your Way meal, only at Burger King.
Western Kentucky leading off bottom of the third with Taylor Davis coming to the plate with a 3-run lead. If you have not heard the story of Taylor Davis, I'm glad we're the ones that get to share it with you. Quite the inspiration, the senior who gets to play against her home state school from Madison, Alabama. She was born with Erb's palsy, which is something that creates muscular issues and strength development problems, and it's affected the right side of her body so much so that she really can't do a lot with that right arm. She can hold the bat, she can use her hand, but really no power, not a lot of great control and form. And it was in high school when she was playing, she was still using her right hand to catch and throw with the left, and had a coach that said, look, if you're really gonna progress and be the player that you wanna be, we wanna teach you how to do this, or teach yourself how to do this with just your left. So she actually catches, and if we get a play from her in the outfield today, she will catch with the left and quickly transition the glove out with the ball to be able to throw. And then certainly the lack of a lead arm from swinging. You'll see a lot of contact. She tries to sprint, use her speed, but incredible numbers. Hits .419. Incredible leader, and has to work hard at everything, not just softball, and has become an inspiration to her team, her teammates, the entire university community. Just an incredible story in college softball. She's behind 0-2 here against Montana Fouts.
You're right, what an incredible story. And kudos to Taylor Davis. Not only did she realize at a young age, like, hey, this is something I'm going to have to work through, but she's found success doing that. She's a role model to other people that have similar disabilities or issues, and it's just incredible to see. And I feel like we need more people like Taylor Davis out there to really set the example.
Her coach, to kind of throw back old school, Amy Tudor, reminded her of when she was a kid. Look at how quickly she makes that transition to be able to throw it back in. Reminds her of Jim Abbott, who famously pitched from Michigan and into the pros, had a no-hitter in the major leagues, and he didn't have any part of the lower part of his right arm at all, and did it all. She slaps to third, quick play over, and Prangy's able to range and retire Davis and that speed down to the first base line. But just an incredible story. We hope we get to see more of her incredible story throughout the course of this night and then into the rest of this 2022 NCAA softball season.
Absolutely, and once again, she uses that as her superpower, and just incredible athlete, incredible human being, and gosh, it was fun hearing from Coach Tudor all about her.
All right, the first hero of the night, Taylor Sanders, drove in the game's first run with an RBI double in the first. That was not against Montana Fouts. This one is delivered off the middle of the bat, and Woodard was camped in the right spot, quickly 2 down.
Now batting for your Hilltoppers, the second baseman, number 9, Jordan Ridge.
I like that Sanders came out swinging. I do think she just got underneath the ball. I thought it was a solid swing on a pitch that might have been a little too good over the plate from Fouts, but once again, well executed. A can of corn out in center field.
So the inning left up to Jordan Ridge. She struck out looking against Jayla Torrance in the first, and gets brushed by the airflow of that ball inside. As Fouts came in relief in the first inning and has retired 6 straight. High heat. Not a lot of off-speed stuff in Fouts' repertoire. She'll move the ball around, but you're seeing it 67, 68. We've seen 69 a couple of times so far tonight. It's going to be on you in a hurry no matter which direction it's going.
Yeah, and what's hard about it, a fast-throwing rise ball is that you have a split second to already decide, am I swinging or am not? And a rise ball looks so good out of the hand, and that's why so many people fall for it. That's why a lot of batters look silly at times swinging at it, but it looks good. And of course, it naturally rises way out of the strike zone. So it's a great pitch to have, but it's even more successful if you have a lot of speed like Fouts does behind it.
I say you can't teach speed. Where does Fouts' speed in her pitches come from?
A lot of speed comes from lower body on a pitcher, how they push off the mound, how they use their entire body to kind of work through the pitch. But a lot of it starts at the base, starts in the legs. And it's crazy. Young girls these days going up and playing softball, they're throwing harder than ever, because I think a lot of emphasis is like throw hard and then we'll figure out how to place it later. And it's amazing how they're throwing hard now and finessing those great locations.
Elevates again and gets Ridge to chase, strikes out for the second time here tonight. And another shutdown inning from Montana Fouts as she hopes her offense can find some life midway through this one.
Oh, I want ice cream.
Seriously?
I'm gonna drive to get my ice cream.
No, you're not. Play with this.
No, I'm driving.
Really? Drinking and driving? How old are you?
I'm a big boy.
Having a 5G phone that's not on T-Mobile makes as much sense as playing ice hockey. Using pool noodles. T-Mobile, more 5G bars in more places. Another reason T-Mobile is the leader in 5G.
The NFL draft is now open.
But any one of these players, I think, has a chance to become a great talent in the NFL.
It all comes down to this. The Jacksonville Jaguars select
home fans getting exactly what they wanted thus far. Hilltoppers 3 up on the 6th-ranked Crimson Tide of Alabama with Brett Kramer. I'm Will Haskett. Welcome you back to this beautiful Western Kentucky softball complex. Not a seat available for you here tonight as Shelby Nunn face the middle of the Alabama order. Lord, Shipman, Dowling due up here in the Alabama 4th.
And this will be a huge transition for Nunn. She's now seeing those batters for the 2nd time in this game. They've all had to look at her. They all kind of understand what she has, what she doesn't have. So sometimes pitchers will pull out a new pitch the 2nd round through, something that these hitters haven't seen before. But once again, just key. I know I've been saying this over and over again. You have to keep these batters guessing because this sport is made for the long ball, and man, these Alabama hitters can hit.
Lord lined to right center her first time up, and a diving play by Kennedy Foote for a loud out in the 1st inning, and works from ahead here in the count against Nunn.
And Coach Murphy said he's looking for somebody to take over this 2 spot in the lineup. This is a great way to prove this. And especially top of the lineup, you're looking for small ball, you're looking for things, but obviously with Lord's last hit to right field, it was a great solid hit, diving catch. So really looking for a lot of production out of her today.
Nunn trying to stay away from the barrel of the bat, but is behind 3-1. Barreled up that time, and Ridge is getting a workout over there at 2nd as she retires yet another one here to lead things off in the 4th. First meeting between these two teams in 9 years. They last played in 2013. Alabama has won all 6 of the previous meetings with the Hilltoppers. 2nd time this year, though, an SEC team has come here to Bowling Green to play, as Western Kentucky attracted Arkansas earlier this season. There was just a couple of key hits, a couple of long balls in that one ended up being the difference. First pitch swing and an alley, Shipman's aboard with a 1-out single. And again, we've harped on it once or twice here, Brett, is it's just a good solid piece of hitting. But Shelby Nunn able to pitch now with a 3-run lead. He likes to pitch to contact, put some things on the defense behind her as you see the improving offensive numbers that Shipman has had since coming in from Tennessee last year. She runs it first, hoping that she'll be the first run of this game for Alabama, as that one's in at the knees against Bailey Dowling.
And sometimes a solid ground ball up the middle is everything you need as a hitter to kind of get the juices flowing again. She struggled a little bit this past weekend, going 0 for 8 at the plate. So sometimes it just takes a simple single to get out of that and then kind of get your groove back running into the rest of the season. Especially they got a tough Missouri 3-game series coming up in a couple weeks, and then followed by the SEC tournament.
Shelby Nunn is trying to get that outside corner, but James Neighbors is not cooperating behind the plate. And spins that one over the edge, finds that perfect corner, and 1-2 has Dowling set up, who popped it up harmlessly into shallow center her first time up. That came back in the 2nd inning.
And that was a beautiful pitch by Nunn. Outside corner, perfect placement, and that's how you beat teams like Alabama. You have to hit your spots consistently.
That one came up in the air, squibbed in the center. Beautiful read on the ball by Hage, and diving back into first was Shipman, 2 away, and another great defensive play in center by Hage. Boy, shadows and everything too, Brett. This wasn't easy.
That was not easy. It was a high pitch. She got right on it, but yes, coming on in. And then, ooh, Shipman got quite the lead over there. So great job by her getting back. I don't blame her for being aggressive, because that falls in front of the center fielder. Like, it's a dead out at 2nd base. That's almost a lose-lose situation a little bit for a base runner on first.
Juniors had to make a couple of quick reads on balls hit right in her direction. Would you rather have to move 15 feet side to side to catch a fly ball, or have one hit right at you?
You're asking that question to a catcher.
I know, okay.
I think I would rather actually have to move side to side 15 feet because sometimes the ones right at you are very deceiving. Naturally, every outfielder's first step should be back, but even then, when there's shadows, when there's spin on the ball, it can be hard to read in the outfield. I've played a tiny bit of outfield in my day. I was much better behind the plate than I was out there, but yeah, I prefer side to side.
So maybe Tudor comes out to have a conversation with her pitcher and her catcher. Let's take a look at that shadow that's cast over center field. Again, probably more of a problem if you're in right today. At one point in time, looking back into that sun. And it'll soon be cast across this entire ballpark. What do you think the conversation was out there between coach and her battery?
I think Alabama is consistently getting back on the ball. They're not successfully having a lot of hits out there. But I also wonder if it's one of those situations where this is a strong hitter in the lineup. Let's not give her anything too good just because they already have a runner on. Sometimes you got to hedge your bets on what hitters you give more to than not. So that could have been certainly part of the conversation.
They end up with the emotional element. No one wants to be more of an impact in this game than Kaylee Tao, part of her homecoming trip here for the final year player. And that one's ripped right through the legs of the pitcher. Got to center pretty quickly. Shipman couldn't move off of that base. So 2 hits after no hits allowed in the first 3 innings. Second time through for this order. There's 2 aboard with 2 out.
This ball, it's a well-placed outside pitch. For 0-2, it's probably a little too good in that circumstance because if you're a hitter, you're thinking about that you're going to put bat on ball, you're going to really fight since you're behind in the count. And kudos to Kaylee Tao. I mean, she's the reason why this game is happening. And that's really exciting in her home state, hopefully around a lot of family today. Hopefully they got a seat, though, instead of out in that parking garage.
Oh, I think the place to be is the parking garage. You gotta tell people that came to the game and had to watch it from the parking garage.
I would say the sun is in a little better position for those people in the parking garage right now with all these shadows we're seeing.
Now the freshman, Bloodworth, in a big spot here with 2 runners on and ahead 2-0. She's driven in 29 this year, making her 38th start. Slow roller up the middle, and great glove by Webster. Knew the situation, taps on the bag, and the threat neutralized here in the top of the 4th as Nunn has taken them past the midway point without surrendering a run. Looking for insurance here in the bottom of the frame.
I love my new home, but it might be too Victorian.
Oh, gosh, interesting hemline on those pants.
At least Geico makes bundling my home and car insurance easy. I save so much.
Pardon me, Your Grace.
Oh, just call me Grace.
For bundling made easy, go to geico.com.
I want ice cream.
Seriously?
I'm gonna drive to get my ice cream.
No, you're not. Play with this.
No, I'm driving.
Really? Drinking and driving? How old are you?
I'm a big boy.
One app, one tap, so stacked. A whole lot of everything. Now that's facts. And man with the dunk, so ridiculous. Dribbling brilliance, just like Vinicius. Scores and stats make you wanna get that. It's only for everything. The ESPN app.
It's a gorgeous night in southern Kentucky, Bowling Green, Kentucky, to be exact, as Montana Fouts back out inside the circle. Came on relief of Jayla Torrance, who was chased before getting the third out of the first inning. And Fouts has been, as advertised in this one, dominant, facing her minimum since entering the game. She's, see the 4 strikeouts as well, part of an Alabama staff that is tops in the SEC in ERA this year and a number of other statistical categories from the pitching staff. Has that one rocket off her shin, but has time to find the ball, locate, and flip across to retire Maddie Bowles. And she says she's okay.
Take a look at this pitch on the outside corner. Takes a shot to the shin for Fouts, but great job getting together, settling in, making the out, because that's a huge out, the first out of the inning. I really feel like the last inning and how she's really settling in, it's becoming her game, not just a game that she stepped into, and she looks tried and true form right now.
Now power on power. Bailey Curry steps in. Hit a line drive double off the center field fence to drive in 2 in that big 3-run first inning, the only scoring in this game, all coming in the first trip to the plate for Western Kentucky. She would love to match her bat with a 68-mile-an-hour heater from Fouts here.
Yeah, it doesn't take much when they're throwing bats. You just got to get a solid bat on the ball and it just goes. You always like to have about a 45-degree angle to optimize getting over those fences, but her double, she was pumped at second base. Like, she was ready. It was a huge hit, 2 RBIs. She's feeling good at the plate right now.
Oh, tried to chase at 69 and just couldn't get upstairs. She clocked 2 dingers on Saturday against Marshall. They run-ruled the Herd in 1 game. Again, advancing to 13-5 after this past weekend's play in the East Division, leading that way in Conference USA.
And if I'm Fouts, I'm putting another tier on that cake. I'm going right back to the rise ball, even higher than the last one. Put it out of reach for Curry, but she likes the high ball, you can tell. I would just keep building.
She got her hands on it, but not elevating it enough. That one got past the top deck of the parking garage and then comes down harmlessly into Johnson's glove. 2 down. Curry got pretty close to catching up to that, though.
She was just underneath the pitch. Great rise ball. Maybe, I wouldn't say it was great for that pitch. It was clearly not a strike, but once again, great hand-eye coordination from Curry. But that's why you have a defense backing you up. High flies should be routine plays for your defense.
So it's 9 now through the entire order from Western Kentucky that have faced Montana Fouts. 5 of them putting the ball in play, 4 of them striking out. So the second time through, it's Randy Drennan to see her for a second time. Drennan was due up in the order before Curry hit that double, and then got to be the first strikeout victim of Fouts in this game to end that first inning. Golfs that foul, 1-1. Drennan is valuable behind the plate on the other side, and she is at the plate right now with what she's got cooking, as she committed on that swing 1 and 2.
I love the smile there too. She's just settling in. This is a big moment for a freshman. You're facing one of the best pitchers of the game, somebody without doubt grown up watching play in World Series and for Alabama. So I hope she's embracing this opportunity, and she clearly is as she's smiling out there.
Chase Warren in the dirt. Was not caught, but an easy retire as Shipman's able to get it to Tao. And another 1-2-3 inning for Montana Fouts as she's quieted the bats of the home team.
I love my new home, but it might be too Victorian.
Gosh, interesting hemline on those pants.
At least Geico makes bundling my home and car insurance easy. I save so much.
Pardon me, Your Grace.
Oh, just call me Grace.
For bundling made easy, go to geico.com.
Oh, I want ice cream.
Seriously?
I'm gonna drive to get my ice cream.
No, you're not. Play with this.
No, I'm driving.
Really? Drinking and driving? How old are you?
I'm a big boy.
The BK $5 Your Way meal is here to make your choice easy and so tasty. Go straight to the Double Whopper Junior with piping hot small fries, 4-piece crispy nuggets, and a refreshing small drink. Can you believe you get all this for only $5? The $5 Your Way meal, only at Burger King.
Couldn't have drawn up a better script in how this one has gone so far for Western Kentucky. Plating 3 in the first inning and chasing starter Jayla Torrance out. First it was the RBI double from Taylor Sanders, and then Bailey Curry off the top of the wall. 3 runs would score in that game, and then Brett, plenty of defense in this one to like from the Hilltoppers.
Oh, diving catches, great plays, and the key to success of this game for the Hilltoppers is timely hitting, which they've had, in a solid defense backup, Nunn.
Kept Alabama from crossing the plate, but after Torrance got retired, they brought in Montana Fouts, and she has been perfect since arriving into this game. It looks very evident that Western Kentucky is going to labor to score any more than 3, which means we head to the top of the 5th inning. It's all up to perhaps that defense and the pitching of Shelby Nunn if they're to bring this one all the way home. Bottom 3 in the Alabama order due up here in the Crimson Tide 5th. Haney, Johnson, Woodard due up against Shelby Nunn, who has walked 1, 2 singles in the last inning as she started to find her way through this order for a second time, and even led to a couple of mound visits to try and adjust the technique a little bit as the Crimson Tide try and figure out the 5th-year starter from Western Kentucky.
Yeah, I just keep finding myself just nodding my head back here watching Nunn pitch. It's just, I always harp, keep the ball low and hit your spots. I would love to be behind the plate catching her right now because that was just a beautiful thing, but it's amazing how much it can throw off even the top hitters in the country. They're hitting pop flies, they're hitting routine grounders, and Nunn is lucky she has an incredible defense behind her, but she's doing a lot of great work to get those good results for her defense.
Dallas Goodnight came in to run for KJ Haney in the top of the 3rd inning when Haney led off with a walk. She stays into bat, or comes into bat, I should say, for her now here in the 5th. He's behind 1 and 2. Slaps it right towards Nunn, who shows no stress in retiring Goodnight to begin the inning. Pretty impressive stuff from the hometown kid here from Bowling Green, Kentucky, Shelby Nunn, making her 25th start of the season. You knew she wanted the ball today. She knew she was going to get the ball today, but has really controlled the ball in the zone, Brett, to make the contact manageable for her and her defense.
Absolutely, even that pitch, that's on the outside corner. The batter gets around on it a little bit, gets a little dribbler, and she's doing all the work. She's defending the circle, she is throwing from the circle, so just kudos to Shelby Nunn. What a great first start to this half, but a long way to go against this Alabama team.
Only 4 balls have found the outfield against Shelby Nunn as Jenna Johnson trying to find any way to get on base. There's some speed at the bottom of the order here for Alabama, including Johnson, who's stolen 10 bases, more than anybody in the starting lineup today for Alabama. So trying to just find any way to get on base and make this defense work, because that's just a bit too low.
With Johnson's speed, you are seeing that the defense is playing back on her. So I'm not surprised she tried to go for that bunt on that Fouts pitch there, just because at this point, you have to manufacture base runners so that way the people behind you have the ability to hit you in and drive in RBIs.
Is it fair to say it's been impressive from Nunn, because this has not been a wide strike zone tonight? I feel this has been a pretty tight zone behind the plate from James Neighbors, and she's still finding a way to work the ball into it.
Yeah, Neighbors is not being a homer in this game, that's for sure. I do think he gives a nice corner on both sides of the plate and is decently friendly to the low ball. But you're right, I think there's only been a pitch or two, and this happens every single game, where I've kind of wondered, like, oh, was that a strike? Was that really a ball? But overall, all you can ask for from a pitcher and from a catcher, from a coach's standpoint, is that the umpire is consistent behind the plate. You can manage consistency, you can work with consistency, and if they're not consistent, that's when it becomes difficult to really figure out what you can throw as a pitcher to be successful.
Borderline one there, goes the way of the pitcher for Shelby Nunn, and the count works full. This is the third time tonight that Nunn has gotten to a third ball in a count against an Alabama hitter. Gets her golfing at that one, lazy into center, and Webster calls off everybody to squeeze it for out number 2.
And another great pitch by Nunn. Kept it low. Johnson, she golfed it. And I know that's a sport you like a lot here, Will. I play, a little bit here and there, try to turn my softball swing into a golf swing now. But they're literally throwing their bat at the ball, and that's going to result in poor hits. And a pop-up, they will take that every single day, especially against a team like Alabama.
Savannah Woodard slapping it foul. She rolled one over to the second base side her first time up. Number 9 hitter, and again with no rally started at this point in time for Alabama, if she can't turn over this lineup to the top, and Prangy waiting on deck. You just 2 innings left, and perhaps just one time through for Nunn, as that one misses just below the knees.
I get why the crowd liked that one. I did think it was low. Drennan did a great job behind the plate, framing that up, making that pitch look good. And this crowd is into it right now. This is what home field advantage is all about.
That one slapped over short, and a clean single of the 2-out variety for Woodard, who does turn the lineup over to the dangerous bats. So a chance for a 2-out rally here in the top of the 5th as the Crimson Tide have something to cheer about offensively.
That was a great piece of hitting, bat on ball. The pitch was a little high from Nunn there, but really nice shot for Woodard. That's what you have to do. You have to simplify the at-bat. Sometimes it's literally just focusing, let my bat hit the ball, and either let my speed do the work or find a great placement out in the field like she just did.
That one won't find the corner against Ashley Prangy, who's hit it hard in both of her trips to the plate, but both of them right in the center, where Hage has made good adjustments and quick glove work. But she certainly has had the timing and the experience against Nunn to figure that she's going to figure out one swing here, and that might be the one. That's into the gap, and Hage has got no chance at it. Woodard's got great speed. She's going to round third and be held there. Prangy on second, 2 runners in scoring position, and Alabama with the chance to really make it interesting here in the top of the 5th.
Pitch comes in, just way too good from Nunn, hangs over the plate. Prangy puts great bat on the ball, and this is actually where the wall played in the defensive favor. It went back right to Hage, prevented them from scoring, but that's the type of timely hitting Coach Murphy is talking about. When runners are on, what are they doing with their bats to manufacture runs? And that's a great step in that direction.
So critical at bat coming here. with runners at second and third. And Jenna Lord steps in. 0 for 2. Alabama 0 for 3 tonight with runners in scoring position. First pitch swinging, clips her in the box.
You actually got around on that outside pitch there. That is something you want to go with the outside pitch. Get the meat of the bat on the ball, drive it to right field instead of really trying to pull it to the left side.
Weekly to second. Ridge with time, and another rally snuffed out by the defense of Western Kentucky. Nunn can breathe a sigh of relief as she's gotten through 5 without letting a run cross the plate. Second straight at bat that Lord grounds over to second, and Western Kentucky still pitching a shutout.
PTI, I need the PDF, COB, AKA EOD. What's the ETA?
ASAP, FYI.
See my IM?
TLDR.
What?
Too long, didn't read.
We don't need any more acronyms, but we could all use more ways to save.
BMX, YOLO!
Oh, I want ice cream.
Seriously?
I'm gonna drive to get my ice cream.
No, you're not. Play with this.
No, I'm driving.
Really? Drinking and driving? How old are you?
I'm a big boy.
The BK $5 Your Way meal is here to make your choice easy and so tasty. Go straight to the Double Whopper Junior with piping hot small fries, 4-piece crispy nuggets, and a refreshing small drink. Can you believe you get all this for only $5? The $5 Your Way meal, only at Burger King.
Feeling the groove here in Bowling Green. It has been a near perfect start. Will there be a perfect finish? 10 years after they were national champions, Alabama arriving here in Bowling Green. One of the biggest games that this stadium has seen. There's been plenty of SEC action in here, but it's just the anticipation, a long time coming. Been a couple of years since this one was on the schedule and then off. And just gotten back to being able to make it happen this year. As Kennedy Foote leads things off here in the bottom of the 5th against Montana Fouts, who has pitched a perfect game thus far in relief.
But as you mentioned last inning, she's now seeing these batters for a second time. They should know a little bit what more to expect from a speed and movement perspective. I don't think speed is catching them off guard, but you can tell because of Fouts' speed is causing them to make quicker decisions.
Rolled to third. Prangy with no problem across the infield. That's 11 straight retired by Fouts.
And that's kind of the power of somebody who throws in the low 70s, upper 60s, is that not only do you have to make a quick decision because of their speed, but you find a lot of batters swinging at pitches that they normally wouldn't in an at-bat. It gets people a little bit antsier, it gets them a little anticipating pitches in the zone a little bit more. So you create a bunch of unease when you have a lot of speed, but once you're able to settle in as a batter with the speed, it slows down and it gets a little bit easier.
Speed of the pitches definitely seemed to get the best of TJ Webster. Her first time up was the second strikeout victim of Fouts. That was back in the 2nd. Shows bunt and watches ball 2. Outside corner for strike one. That one, not what Webster thought she was going to get in terms of the call. And going to have to prove something here with the bat, 2-2 against the SEC's, arguably the SEC's top pitcher this season, especially when it comes to the strikeout game.
There must be something in the scouting report here on TJ Webster, because Fouts is remaining on that outside corner, kind of married to it a little bit, has found success getting 2 strikes out there. So if you're TJ Webster, you have to realize, like, okay, she's sticking to the outside part of the plate. How do I adjust? Not saying she couldn't change her game plan, but how do I adjust to that outside pitch to set myself up for success? And you'll find with a lot of left-handed batters and slappers, as they're moving through the zone, they typically start tailing towards first base a little bit. So that's why an outside pitch is so successful, because a lot of them kind of turn off early from it. So it's a matter of keeping that shoulder down, staying in line with the ball, and just being comfortable with driving it to the opposite side of the field.
And upstairs, Webster chases and goes down on strikes for a second time. 2 up, 2 down here in the 5th, as Alabama was finally able to string together a couple of hits, and they'll have the middle of the order due up in the top half of the 6th inning, and Fouts is trying to work quickly through this Hilltopper lineup to get her bats up to the plate again.
And that's a great pitch by Fouts there. It was outside, outside, outside. I was preaching she was going to outside. Comes with a rise ball on the inside. That is unexpected, and I bet that pitch looked so good to Webster. It is just high in the zone and a great strikeout. And now Briley Page, who's had a brilliant defensive game in center and scored the game's first run. She set the tone for this game in Western Kentucky, that we're going to get on base, we're going to have success, and it was really up to the batters behind her to kind of drive her in and keep that rally going.
See the speed for Fouts starting to pick up. She came into this game in relief, and it was 67, 68. Now we've seen her top 70 multiple times here in this 5th inning.
And we mentioned earlier, she's coming off of throwing 13 hard SEC innings. That is not easy for any pitcher to bounce back from. It is nice that they have a weekend break, a bye going into the weekend, so hopefully Coach Murphy mentioned he's giving his players a few days off to rest up, get healthy, and really get prepared for the rest of the SEC season, and really SEC tournament and NCAA tournament.
Couldn't tell when we were talking to Coach Murphy if the players were aware of that. I feel like it was a secret. They won't know until the end of the game today that they might be getting time off. I couldn't get to the bottom of that one between the two of them. It could be a surprise, although if this score stays the way that it is right now, I'm not sure if he's going to hold himself to the 2 or 3 days off. But it has been a long SEC schedule and a long week for them, we should add, in terms of travel delays and everything, trying to get back from A&M last weekend. Flight was canceled. They had to bus home from Houston. So got into Tuscaloosa late, and then the quick turn to come up here yesterday because of all of the family responsibilities, since this was the return game for Kaylee Tao to come back near her hometown. So it's been a very short week to get back onto the field, and Fouts surrenders the first base runner of her stint as Hayes earns a 2-out walk.
And not only was it the first walk, it was the first time she got to 3 balls on a batter so far this game. So that takes incredible control. This just is probably 1 ball length, 2 outside there. I love the pitch, but in a full count, you have to give something that is like at least going to get the umpire to consider calling it a strike.
Now Taylor Davis smacks it right at short, and Dowling with enough time to come across. 1 pitch, the 3rd out, and we head to the 6th inning.
I've travelled all over, telling folks they could save by bundling home and car insurance. But here's the real secret: eye contact. We just had a moment.
Geico.
I want ice cream.
Seriously?
I'm gonna drive to get my ice cream.
No, you're not. Play with this.
No, I'm driving.
Really? Drinking and driving? How old are you?
I'm a big boy.
The BK $5 Your Way meal is here to make your choice easy and so tasty. Go straight to the Double Whopper Junior with piping hot small fries, 4-piece crispy nuggets, and a refreshing small drink. Can you believe you get all this for only $5? The $5 Your Way meal, only at Burger King.
Signs of offensive life last inning for Alabama. A little two-out rally started with Savannah Woodard getting on base, and then one batter later, Ashley Prangy. This double bounced off the wall, kept Woodard from scoring. So 2 in scoring position, but Jenna Lord couldn't get it done. And with 3, 4, and 5 due up now in the top of the 6th inning, maybe that was a sign that things could get a little rough for Shelby Nunn, but it has not looked rough. 10 consecutive scoreless innings when you go back to last weekend's action. But Brett Kramer, we were talking about it in the break. This is where Alabama really needs to hit the go button. I mean, it seems obvious to say that in a 3-0 game in the 6th inning, but 3, 4, and 5 right here have to do some damage, you would think, in this frame to start the comeback.
Absolutely, and they have found some success against Nunn with a few ground balls up the middle, great solid hits, really starting with Shipman here. But the thing is with Nunn is she's not phased when people put the bat on the ball. She is not a strikeout pitcher. She expects grounders to happen.
Sanders with time retires Shipman as that one lazily rolled to third. So the leadoff bat, and perhaps the most dangerous bat in this Alabama lineup, goes down for out number 1.
And just another great low pitch that Shipman got over for that grounder. But that's the key. Like, the defense for Western Kentucky knows they're going to have to put in work in order to be successful against this game. And Nunn knows that Alabama's going to put the bat on the ball. You just try to limit the big hits by staying low in the zone. Yep.
Out to right and off the wall. First pitch from Bailey Dowling is deposited for a clean, hard hit double. And she's trying to pump up the bench right now as that one had eyes to get out of here.
And that's actually some of the first real energy I've seen from this Alabama team. And I bet Nunn wishes she had that pitch back. It hangs out on the outside corner. It's just way too high. Dowling does a great job staying with it and going oppo on this pitch. Great piece of hitting. And man, I wasn't sure if that was going out there for a minute.
Nunn thought it was out. You could see her reaction in the circle. She thought that was easily a 4-bagger. That one's rolled to second. They'll let the runner move, but another bobbled ball. That'll be the second error of the night by Ridge. First one I thought was a 50-50 questionable one on a hop. She should have made that play, and that's a little bit of an opening. That's exactly what Alabama needed to see. Tao is aboard, runners at the corners, and still just 1 out.
Yeah, and I would say once again, that pitch was a little higher than what Nunn's been consistently. But yeah, I mean, if you just get the ball in the infield, even on the ground, the chances of making errors, that's going to happen. So if you're Alabama, you're just thinking, just put the ball in play. Put the ball in play and see what can happen. And look at this. You're manufacturing runners in scoring position.
It's the second time that Tao has grounded to Ridge, and she has booted it at second. They will run for Tao at first. And we said this is the inning you had to strike in. And now they've put themselves in position. The 3rd time in this game that Alabama has gotten a runner to third base. But this time it comes with just 1 out in the frame. And who can deliver in the bottom of the order for Alabama?
And this is what's interesting too. I'll be interested to see what Alabama does with a 1st and 3rd situation. Do you take a risk stealing second, getting another runner in scoring position? Do you play it conservative? And then also in this situation, the defense has a few different options. If they steal, do you throw it straight to second? Do you have the second baseman cut it off? Do you throw to third? So this is a situation a lot of teams prepare for. It's just a matter of how aggressive is Coach Murphy going to be in this situation.
McKay Gidley running at first with the tying run at the plate in the form of Megan Bloodworth.
And don't forget, Will, the Hilltoppers turned a double play earlier in this game. That is not out of question in this situation. And it was like actually with Bloodworth up to bat.
Trying to do it again. That one's squibbed foul. And she's set up at 0-2. Amy Tudor, Kayla Bixel, Danny Pugh, the Brain Trust, all trying to figure out what to sign in here to Shelby Nunn. A good diving effort by Bolds. We'll do it again. Coaching staff saying before this game it was going to be a great opportunity tonight to see what we have. And I think they've learned a lot about the postseason acumen and opportunity for this team, no matter what the result is over the next 2 innings. Hanging with the number 6 team in the country, trying to get out of a jam here in the 6th. Another 0-2. Rolled to third, good look back of the runner. Sanders able to retire Bloodworth, who hits it on the ground for a 3rd straight time, and Dowling still stuck over there at 3rd.
Let's see this pitch. I love what Sanders does at 3rd. She looks her back, guarantees that runner is not going down to home, makes a clean throw to first base for the out. And a lot of people think when you get the ball at 3rd, it's a long throw, so you have to rush it. You actually have time to collect yourself, compose yourself before making those throws. These women have incredible arms. They don't need a lot of time to get it over there, so that was a well-executed play.
So that brings KJ Haney up. Batted in the 3rd and drew a leadoff walk on 4 pitches in the designated player position. Ceded that to Dallas Goodnight, who then hit for her in the 5th, and she's reinserted now in this spot, trying to deliver a big bat with 2 runners in scoring position.
And it was interesting on KJ's first walk. It didn't look like Nunn was even pitching to her. It looked like it was masterfully out of the zone consistently. I feel like the first 2 pitches here, there are quite a few ball lanes outside. But you have an open base. You have first base is wide open. You can get in a bases loaded situation for an easier out situation, but then you always have to worry about the long ball.
I mean, they're not going to give her something to hit inside at all. She's had just 10 official at-bats this year. 2 hits, one of them a double, one of them a home run, and 5 knocked in, and she has drawn 6 walks. So the scouting report is definitely out that you want to avoid the bat of KJ Haney if at all possible, and she's seen 8 pitches and none of them have been for strikes.
I really wish I had like a walkie-talkie to call into Coach Tudor right now. Like, what is it on the scouting report that you guys just are not pitching to KJ Haney? And in opportunities like this, she takes first base, isn't a huge loss. I guess your biggest concern now is a grand slam by Jenna Johnson or anybody behind her, that big hit and that big moment, but I think it's a great move, especially if they're worried that she's going to drive in the 2 base runners that were on.
Haney did have a grand slam, her 1 home run this year, so she wasn't going to have that opportunity. She's now on base. And now with the bases full, the number 8 spot due up in the order. It was to be Jenna Johnson, but instead they will pinch it with Aubrey Barnhart. The freshman will get a swing here against Shelby Nunn. And the biggest spot so far in this night.
And Barnhart has just 27 at-bats on the year, so not a terribly low number, but this is a big situation for a freshman hitter to come in knowing your team is behind 3 runs, bases are loaded, 2 outs. It's kind of what you hope for in any situation. Like when you're going through BP, you're always picturing like, what am I going to do? Bases loaded, 2 outs to get my team the victory or to push them closer that way.
7 hits this year, only 1 of them for extra bases, but has driven in 4. And has a good eye at the plate. Nowhere to put her as she swings at that one to second. And redemption time again for Ridge, who gets back from an error for a second time, flips to Webster, and Alabama leaves them stranded across the diamond. Another rally snuffed out as we stand here in the 6th with Western Kentucky still holding a 3-0 lead.
I love my new home, but it might be too Victorian.
Gosh, interesting hemline on this. Pounds?
At least Geico makes bundling my home and car insurance easy. I save so much.
Pardon me, Your Grace.
Oh, just call me Grace.
For bundling made easy, go to geico.com.
Oh, I want ice cream.
Seriously?
I'm gonna drive to get my ice cream.
No, you're not. Play with this.
No, I'm driving.
Really? Drinking and driving? How old are you?
I'm a big boy.
The BK $5 Your Way meal is here to make your choice easy and so tasty. Go straight to the Double Whopper Junior with piping hot small fries, 4-piece crispy nuggets, and a refreshing small drink. Can you believe you get all this for only $5? The $5 Your Way meal, only at Burger King.
Part of the order due up at the bottom of the 6th, Western Kentucky still holding a 3-0 lead. 26th time under Amy Tudor's watch, the 9th-year head coach, that they have played an SEC school. And trying to pull off the victory. Last win over an SEC team, then ranked 7th Kentucky last season. It was a 9th-inning walk-off single in that game. But their last 2 wins have come against their in-state rivals. There you see all of the entire record in the program's history. And this would certainly go up there as they are 3 outs away, coming up in the top of the 7th from doing just that. Seeing if they could break through against Montana Fouts, who has not surrendered a hit since she came on in relief 2 outs into the 1st inning.
She has just controlled every aspect of the game since she came in the 1st inning. But I mean, a lot of people are like, oh man, bottom of the 6th, Western Kentucky's up 3-0. 3 outs still to go is a lot of softball left. So Western Kentucky needs to take their focus into this inning, even if they can just manufacture 1 run. That's just 1 more run of security heading into the 7th inning.
Taylor Sanders, 1 for 2. And the first of 2 big hits, 2 doubles in the 1st inning that eventually chased Jayla Torrance, who started this game for Alabama. That's been all the offense. 3 runs in the first plate appearance for the Hilltoppers. 3-1. Sanders did issue, I should say, Fouts did issue a walk last inning, the only base runner she's surrendered since coming on in relief. That one's hit hard. In the air to right, over the head of the right fielder, and there'll be no play. Sanders digs for second, and she has her 2nd double of the night. The first hit against Fouts as the Hilltoppers shop insurance here in the 6th.
She's thinking, I want to be the Conference USA Player of the Week 2 weeks in a row. So this is a heck of a start. Another double, and this is what Western Kentucky needed. They haven't had a lot of success against Fouts so far. They scored a lot of runs early. And that pitch is just a little high. It does get a little bit on that inside corner, but all bat on that. I wasn't sure if that was going over or not. It was hard to tell how far it was going to end up going.
Held up there a little bit, so Going back to last weekend's series, she's now 8 for her last 15, including 5 doubles and a home run and 11 knocked in. That's hit high and hard, but hooking foul off the bat of Jordan Ridge. And there's a little timing that's been discovered all of a sudden against Montana Fouts.
And that's really the key to hitting fast pitching. It's like once you get the timing down, everything slows up. I do want to go back on Sanders' hit though. It did look like Ward in right field got a little turned around. I don't know if that's some shadows or if it was just a hard read off the bat.
As Alabama talks about it, take a look again and right.
So she drops back, and it is on over the other shoulder completely. So that could be a bad read. That could be some wind in the area that she didn't anticipate. But I don't think she read that well as a right fielder, because if you just look at it from the outside, it looks like a pretty routine high fly. Obviously difficult because it's behind her, but these ladies have so much range in the outfield. And Coach Murphy also mentioned that right field's kind of been a little bit of a rotation for them this year. So I think that could cause just a little bit more of inexperience out there.
Rolled foul, and Ridge is behind 0-2. The other thing that one hit from Sanders has done is, again, there was so much energy. People were here early. They were stacked up on the parking deck and left an hour before this game started. And then the first inning delivered everything. We had great defense. We had the offense. And then it's kind of just settled into a pitching duel since then. Easy to kind of take a nap in the middle of this game for the fans that kind of came all lathered up and ready to go for this one. And now all of a sudden, you can feel it, you can hear it.
Well, and it shows that Western Kentucky can produce outside of the first inning. They haven't had a lot of success against Fouts, but not a lot of teams in the entire country have had a lot of success against Fouts. So that's what happens when you see a pitcher multiple times.
Tough play for Prangy across the diamond. She made that look a lot easier than it was in reality, and it also held Sanders over at second. Oh no, she does dig over into third. So Ridge does the job and does move the runner over.
And sometimes you just have to treat hits like that was a sack bunt. Like move the runner over, it did the job. Yeah, a swinging bunt, exactly. Sometimes I wonder why the scorebook doesn't always reflect some of those, but that's a different conversation for a different day. And then now you're in a situation with one out. If you get this into the outfield, you can tag up, get an easy run third base. So you got to think high flies out, and since Fouts typically throws it higher in the zone, it's more likely to be able to manufacture that.
Couple missing the outside edge from Fouts. See her pitch count totally manageable, even with those 13 innings thrown this past weekend.
And what I think is happening is not only this is the second time she's seen a few of these hitters, they're not as fooled by the speed, and because they're not fooled by the speed, they're not swinging at bad pitches any longer. That outside corner, a little too off, obviously a ball. These hitters were swinging at that 2 innings ago because they were fooled by the speed and had to make a really quick decision at the plate. They are settling in, seeing the ball better, and choosing better pitches to swing at.
4-pitch walk puts him at the corners with 1 out. And a dangerous bat coming to the plate against Fouts, trying to blow this one open here in the bottom of the 6th.
This is another fun first and third situation as Western Kentucky go the aggressive route. Obviously, this is a range for Alabama to also turn a double play. So this is always something when I was back behind the plate, it's fun because there's so many options that you have from an offensive perspective, but also from a defensive perspective as well.
So Bailey Curry, who came about 5 feet away from a home run in the first, and then turned but just elevated too much against Fouts last time up.
And I don't blame Fouts for going low there because the pitch that Bailey got a hold of out in left field, that was high, that was a rise ball, that was out of the strike zone, but she still got her bat on it and got pretty solid contact.
And there was no runner on. If she does that again here, you're going to score the runner on third. So you're trying to protect even against a fly ball here, which is what Curry's trying to do, is elevate anything to the outfield, right?
And Curry's so strong. She gets her bat on the ball, and the ball's coming in at 68 to 72 miles per hour. That's going out there.
Instead, she induces a 6-4-3 inning-ending double play. And that steals momentum right back for the Crimson Tide, who need to find at least 3 runs in the top of the 7th to avoid a road loss in this one. But it could have been a lot worse. Fouts picked the right time to find a ground ball out as we head to the final frame.
We love our new apartment.
There's too much pressure in the bathroom.
Good luck with the future in-laws tonight.
Don't overthink it.
But don't underthink it.
At least Geico makes bundling our renters and car insurance easy.
Oh, no.
Oh, boy.
For bundling made easy, go to geico.com.
Oh, I want ice cream.
Seriously?
I'm gonna drive to get my ice cream.
No, you're not. Play with this.
No, I'm driving.
Really? Drinking and driving? How old are you?
I'm a big boy.
We're scientists, we're engineers, we dance, but not so well. Windows 11 makes things easier. One of the biggest features I use is multiple desktops. I go from being a student to being a gamer. Being a mentor is one of the biggest dreams we have, and Windows 11 helps us do it.
It's been worth the price of admission, even if that admission means you're watching from the parking deck across the way. 1,512, a new attendance record for a Western Kentucky softball game. You might look at that number and say, okay, what's the big deal? There are 300 seats. There are 300 seats. Somehow we've squeezed 812 additional bodies. 1,212 additional bodies. I was a math minor.
I told you,
Took me a while.
The parking garage is the MVP of this game. I realize there's been a lot of great play on the field, but holy cow, what an attendance for a great softball game on a Wednesday night.
Top of the 7th. Alabama has not been shut out all year. They lost 9-1 on Saturday at Texas A&M. 1 run the fewest. Only twice this year they failed to score more than that in a loss. But look at Woodard beating it down the line for an infield single to start things off here and turns the lineup over. And that is a massive sprint down the first base line for the Alabama junior.
Whew, she's fast. Look at this replay there. She just beats it out. That's great hustle. And Coach Murphy said that she was at one time at the top of her lineup. And some people treat that 9-hole batter as another leadoff batter because it's amazing the amount of times that they do end up leading off in a game from that position.
She's got speed, has stolen 4 bases this year. Not really sure if she needs to be on the move down 3 here as Prangy takes low. 1 for 3 tonight. And again, this is where your leadoff hitter having the versatility that Ashley Prangy has really helps because now you've got a runner on and she can swing for power. She's hit it hard all 3 times that she's been up at the plate tonight.
Yeah, she is out in the grass every single time. And if you're Nunn at this point, you've had success. You probably need to keep them guessing at what you're going to be throwing, but like you don't need to change. You just need to keep it low, keep it in the ballpark, and really just ride off of what's been successful so far and really trust in your defense to back you up.
That one hit towards second, and another one gobbles up Ridge. It'll be her 3rd error of the night. And it couldn't have come at a worse time. They're on the corners with nobody out here in the 7th.
Which comes in, looks like it just bounced up a little bit. But yeah, and kudos to Woodard to advancing to third base. We find ourselves again in a first and third situation, this time with no outs. I would not be surprised if Coach Murphy was aggressive and took the stolen base out at second. But if you are Western Kentucky, you just have to stop the bleeding. No runs have been scored, no true damage has been done, but you have to get an out on the board.
Jenna Lord bats, nobody out. Crimson Tide 0 for 7 tonight with runners in scoring position. That includes Lord, who came up with runners at second and third in the fifth and grounded out to second. She's rolled it over to Ridge the last 2 times up. And what doesn't help Western Kentucky in this area is Shelby Nunn's pitched a brilliant game to contact, as that's over for strike 2. But Brett, she does not have a strikeout in this game. She's not a big strikeout pitcher, but she's not getting free outs at the plate. These balls are going to go in play. She's going to need the defense behind her to get her out of this as much as it is the placement of the pitches.
And you have to think, it is a 3-out ball game. If they get a run across the plate, that's okay. Outs are what you need. So if it gets out there, if it hits the ground, get the out, plug away, and that's how you get out of this situation.
Tough run in for Webster. Did a good job not to rush it. Woodard comes in, so there will not be a shutout. Prangy to second, but you get that out. Again, you're counting outs at this point in time. Tying run comes to the plate, just as it was before. And we mentioned how important this game is. We've had SEC wins, but at this juncture, this late in the season, a chance to put a Power 5 win on the resume, a top 10 ranked team. This goes a long way if something were to go wrong in the Conference USA tournament for the Hilltoppers. Again, they're leading the Eastern Conference right now, the Eastern Division, I should say. But this win, you know there are committee members watching. Heck, there's a committee member in the dugout right now watching, although she has to excuse herself from the conversations. But this is just an opportunity for a monumental postseason ceiling type of victory. As that one floats past the bat, they'll check down at third and say that Shipman did not go.
And that's a hard situation too, because by the way that the umpires are shifted, the umpire at third base is looking to make that call. They don't have somebody on the first base like, God, I watched you cross the plane. That looked like a swing on my end. Once again, because there's a runner on, these umpires shifted, so they're not in the best position to make that call.
She hits it on a rope to center, but guess who? Hage is there, and no advancing of Prangy. Hard hit out. That's been the friend for Western Kentucky tonight, and they're 1 out away.
They're 1 out away, and let's not forget, this is the top of the inning. So if Alabama were to manufacture a couple runs, Western Kentucky can then come back, and they have 3 outs to work with. We'll see if it gets to that point, but they got 2 outs on the board. The key here is keep it low, keep it in the park, give your defense a fighting chance to actually defend the ball. You cannot defend a home run. We all know that, but there's nothing your defense can do about that situation.
They're on their feet for the duel between Nunn and Bailey Dowling, who rocketed one off the wall her last time up an inning ago.
And keep in mind, first base is open too. So if there's anything in the scouting report or any reason not to pitch true to Bailey Dowling, the worst part, if she does take first, then you put your winning run at the plate, which probably isn't the best strategy. But if there's any apprehension with it, you can semi-pitch around her. However, I don't know if you want the hometown kid coming up. 2 outs, first and second, maybe other situations. I mean, Kaylee Tal has a lot of family here.
Just outside. True hometown kid, Shelby Nunn, in the circle for the Hilltoppers. That's hit hard, in the air to right, playable, foot to it, has it! And the Hilltoppers hold on
What a win, what a celebration. Kudos to Coach Tudor and this Western Kentucky team. They came in here not afraid of the limelight, not afraid of number 6 Alabama, and they got the job done. And their resume looks a little better for that at-large selection.
The 5th-year pitcher, Shelby Nunn. She doesn't keep the scoreless inning streak going, but she is more than happy to surrender just 1 in the top of the 7th. And riding that quick start and those 3 runs out of the gate, it's enough. 2nd straight year they beat a top 10 ranked SEC school. And going into a long weekend off for the 6th ranked Crimson Tide, there'll be plenty of conversations on the bus ride back to Tuscaloosa, not to mention a little regroup before they settle in to face Missouri in the final series of the season next weekend in advance of the SEC championships. And partner, boy, we expected to see something crazy today. Over 1,500 plus packed into every single vantage point you could for this one, and boy, did it deliver. And a team that just knew they had a great opportunity rose to the occasion tonight and got it done.
And you know what, I should probably take one thing back. I kept saying all night that that parking garage is an MVP. Shelby Nunn is the MVP. Well executed, great job keeping her composure inside the circle when Alabama was threatening them throughout the game. This is a huge win, a huge moment for her and Coach Tudor and the entire Western Kentucky team. And what a way to do it in front of a sold-out crowd plus of 1,500. This was a great Wednesday night softball game.
Alabama has scored 1 run or less in just 3 games since the beginning of March, but they do so today in an upset victory for the Hilltoppers, who pad their resume with a 3-1 win, and what a day it was here in Bowling Green. For Brett Kramer and our entire crew, I'm Will Haskett saying so long from Bowling Green, Kentucky. It's all Hilltoppers on a Wednesday night as they beat Alabama 3-1.